bottle opener.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? How you come about? How both of you all sit down and come up with that?
Sweat, blood, and tears. And what I mean by that is, anytime you have something successful going on, there will always be conflict. And what I mean by that is, how we made Bottle Overhead, we was in the studio in France. And we had a bottle of Old Nick. Old Nick is like cheap rum in France now.
Yeah.
Paris. Cheap rum. Probably have a little 8 to 12 euros.
Yeah.
We beaten that in the studio. And with he vexed and he's like, but you see why you always on your phone? And I say, bro, I just can't have different processes. Sometimes I might look through my phone and see something and be right, okay, this is what I want to talk about. Or I could be walking around or whatever. So on my phone just looking through social media and I come across Major Hype, the comedian. He was doing like the Bottle Girls in America.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, something clicked. I say, yo, there is a concept, and the Bottle Overhead, just so. Are we in the studio? And the only reason why we put pan in the song, which is the crucial part of the song, was at the time we had a song called Obia that we did before.
Yeah, I remember Obia.
And Obia had a buzz, man, and a thing, and and people were saying to me, Joocie, why you don't put pan in your music? Is a pan, man, put some pan.
Yeah.
And that kind of triggered, I said, yo, we had to put pan in this song. And whilst we building the rhythm, he building it, we put in the pan. And we cooking, man, and I watch it on the table and I say, it could be water, it could be rum. And I say, well, everybody's drinking Hennessy, everything going down. Cause to bottle over, and we, listen to me, organic, just so. And it was like simple, easy to sing, effective, And yeah, that's how the tune come about, just from that. And we in the studio, we cook, and I think we did 72 hours or 42 hours straight. So usually I'll go to France, and we will just write. Them times we will just write. I might leave France, go France from the Thursday, come back this Sunday, and I have 4 songs. And that's how I work. And when I in that, it's just to go and bathe, brush your teeth, use the toilet, eat something, I'll be back there. Right through, right down, over, and it was one of those times where I think we did 3 songs at the time. But Loved was the second song.
Okay.
And it was there. We had the song. He then mixed and mastered it. We got a video done for it. I was like, about the video at first, but we need to get visuals. And then when we released it, September, it was like the end of September into October. I had to purchase 2 tickets. I bought a ticket to go Trinidad and I bought a ticket to go New York. And I was like to Wetty, we need to do a list of all the key DJs in every station. Or that's instrumental to soca anyway.
Yeah.
And we did. And I said, bro, we need to do plates for everybody. Dot plate. So if you think, Ojo, who does the soca show? Okay, Shal and them, ding dong. Okay, so ding dong. Who does the evening show is this person. Who does that? Next 99. Who's the thing DJ? So I had to do the market research. Which are the key stations for soca music in every country.
Yeah.
That's influential.
To what you have to do.
Right? So we did that. We did like over, even here in the UK, we was thinking who and where and what. And it was so funny. I'll give you this joke here that we did this so we released the song in October. We did the plates and sent them out by November. Right? 60 something plates. We did just one go. Boom. Yeah. I went to Trinidad December. I went to New York first. I did Team Soca and I did a couple things.
Yeah.
And it was first played. The first place to ever play it was Mastermind on Team Soca. Yeah. DJ Mastermind.
Big up to Mastermind.
Right? Big up to Mastermind.
One of them
right?
guys who is always.
He always championing. So he started playing boom boom boom. Then I went to Trinidad. And I went to Boom Champions. And it was 5-star Akil. 5-star Akeem. Not 5-star. Akeem. 5.2.
Okay.
Rasta, who's been with Voice and all of them, right? So it was Akeem, it was Jade.
Yeah.
So and the DJ was
Links?
No, it wasn't Links. It was somebody. It wasn't Links. It was somebody as Robin. I think it's Robin. Or
Yeah, Beats by Robin.
Right?
Beats by Robin. Yeah.
And it was them three. And I remember going in, and I was like, normally when I go in to do the interviews, I'll be like, yeah, you know, humble and modest and just cool. I said, forget that.
Or TYT. You'd have done it on TYT if you did it with Jaden, and that's what's afternoon at Boom Champion.
Yeah.
TYT.
Right? Rasta.
Yeah, well, so it's TYT. The show is called TYT.
Right?
Akim, yeah. Akim, Jaden,
And
Beats by Robin.
And I was like, I'm not going on no humble thing, boy. I know this product here is a boss, and I don't care. So I go on and do the interview, and I can say, yeah, well, we have my brother from England, the boss of tune, ting. What's the name of the tune? I said, listen, I ain't really here to talk, you know. There's a hit song. I wait to play it and open the lines, and let the people let me know if it's shit or if it's a hit. Yeah. They say, Joocie, they Trinidad, they know England, they know Europe.
Yeah.
From the time they bust the tune, the phone lines had a ring. The things had a crash. The WhatsApp on the screen had a crash. They wheel and they say, wait, oh God, what is that? And I did so. And I say, white life, hit come. And you know me, I ready. Mm-hmm. Boom, I get them it live. Boom. They say, we're going to take some calls. He like this, wait, look at this. Jade, look. She like, wait, I never see this before in how much years working? The lines at the ring. Yeah, that one gone through. Yeah, he get you there. Yeah, Joocie, big up, that one good. Ting. One person ring and say, my only criticism is that it kind of lacking a climax. Somebody ring back, hey, you see the last person who call about climax, best to go in the pharmacy and pick up some tablets for that. From there,
yeah,
I knew that it got the attention it needed.
Yeah.
It was the right show, the right platform, and it went off. After that, the next day, I promise you, I started hear it all over the country. Trinidad, Left Trinidad. Men say, boy, you come in December, you know.
You don't know if that go hold
out. You know if that go hold out. You know, they like to say that. I don't know what happened in January. I can't remember the exact date, but it was one day. I had a cousin who must me say, boy, your tune beating up down here, beating all over the place. And I say, but he might be talking shit like he hype. He just want me to come home now.
Yeah.
I get a message from a bedroom called Jason Lewis. Jason say, yo, Joocie, I hear you on the radio, boy. Few people started sending me. They started get on one morning, 4 different people WhatsApp me.
Yeah.
They send me videos of them being in a car and the music playing. Them being in a maxi, the song playing. Then I don't know how I'm that day. They started calling me Joocie boy, Trin, Juice.
All kind of thing.
Trin, all kind of thing. They say, I don't know who that man is there, but the music thing. And obviously the ones who know me.
Yeah.
So when I came back home now, this song gone. And I remember seeing Marshall. I'll never forget. On the road, and he see me walking there. He said, Joocie, you get you here, keep it on. And he gone. I said, what the ass? But watch out from that moment.
Yeah.
The tune was beaten. And would you imagine, I probably get about 2 bookings or 1 booking in Trinidad. That year, my song was the biggest. Talking
and
about
it's still
from
a big
trucks.
song.
Yeah, but this is the 2022. 22, yeah. It beaten everywhere. No bookings, no thing, no.
And what do you think is the reason for that?
Well, there are multiple factors. One,
because you hear these conversations taking place, and I know a couple months ago it was streaming a lot where this whole soca mafia, and you had Rome, who is part of the Promoters Association, trying to say, well, there's no soca mafia, and then you had Trinidad Killer on the next side making noise. You had RKG as well getting into the mix. Do you really think that there is a body of people who hinders other people from coming to the line?
I think there are factors that can influence the outcome of an artist season.
You're running for mayor?
No.
You're running for mayor?
What I mean by that is this. Obviously, some would say it's a conflict of interest when a DJ releases songs because he's playing on radio. He'll play his songs more than anything, right? There's that stigma.
But I don't see that,
I don't either.
I
But
don't see it, yeah.
but subconsciously they're already in the door now. Whereas there's artists who bring in music who won't even get in the door. You understand what I mean? So I think there's that factor. I think there's definitely a mentality cap in Trinidad. And what I mean by that is, if you're not regarded as the top 10 or top 5 or 8
whatever,
artists, or you're not in those certain cliques, then you're disregarded. It's easier for you to be a part of a group, and it's, you know, that the group is then service to different fets, different events, than an individual, right?
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, I remember, so Bottle Over is the biggest song. I told our booking agent, I'm going to be here, I'm available. Now, surely, with the biggest song on the island, it should be easy for you to get jobs.
Get jobs, yeah.
But then they were like, nobody knows you. Well, then that's how you make them know me, because you let them know
that's
your job.
That's your job.
But then that showed me there's a cap mentality. You understand? And it so happened, without having next to maybe about 2-3 shows I did in Trinidad. After Trinidad, I was invited to the biggest Carnival concert, which is in Toronto, Soca, or I think it's Soca.
Joocie? Soca?
No, Dr. J, yeah, Dr.
J's,
Dr. J's Carnival, whatever. It was me, voice. So all the biggest songs, Nadia, all the biggest songs for that Carnival.
What are the concert?
Who is invited to the concert? Now, bear in mind, I ain't performed no way, but I still get invited because of the song, the magnitude of the song. Now, reaching over there, and then COVID, and then the show got cancelled, and that's when the whole thing started happening. But I say that to say, what affects Trinidad Carnival, and I guess with the way things can go, is, yes, there's a mentality cap. There's a if you're not part of certain cliques, it might be a little more difficult. Yes, you could have quality music. Yes, you could promote yourself. But there are cliques. It is easier if you know people to be able to get through, to make things happen. But again, I guess it comes back down to the content, the product that you put out. Once your product good.
But you think there's a way to change that? Do you think there's a way it could be changed, or it's not?
I think I think you have to hone your craft, do what you do to the best of your ability, and they will come.
All right. You said you had one of the biggest songs in Carnival for that 22-23 season. That you was only successful in getting 3 bookings. Yet you headline one of the world's biggest forum, i.e. stage, at Buckingham Palace. There is no other artist in the world, soca artist in the world, could say they've done that. How that come about?
It's so funny. So that happened after. So how it happened in lockdown? I did a project where I sang Lord Kitchener cover with a steel band. As a project online. And that went out there, and then the opportunity came about where they said, look, the Queen Platinum Jubilee is coming up, and they're gonna have a 100-piece orchestra playing, and the man who brought Pan over here, which is Beck and Cole, was gonna be conducting. It's gonna be a mixture of players from different bands. So I was like, yeah, man, I involved in that, man, I like it. And then what happened is now they were bringing Colonel Roberts.
Colonel Roberts,
And then I don't know why I fooled you. And then Matthew say, well, yeah, the only other person I could think of is Joocie. But I cussed them because he could have come to me first. So he went to Colonel for Colonel, don't live here, I live in here. You know what I doing? Hello, you know what I mean? So the arranger, Andre White, had messaged. And he said, look, Joocie, you think... I think I had like 3 days. But I already know the song, right? So I had 3 days to basically learn it. And we had 2 rehearsals with all the players. And from the first rehearsal, like, pause started raise, everybody, you know, the arranger was like, Joocie, look, boy, I'm a pause raising, but it song like, it mesh everything. So I, within myself, I was already confident. I said, yeah, I go and kill this. And as I said to you, and as you mentioned before, I strive from being the first to do things. I like that. I want to be the first. Like, anything I've done, I've always said, if not the first, I've taken it to a level or to a space where you're not expecting. to see or
Yeah,
to hear.
because for a lot of people, that was what we call a coup. That was a major coup for you to be in that. How did it feel being there? What went on?
I was
what went
I
on?
was a little vexed here because Ed Sheeran coming after me and then the Queen come. I wanted the Queen to come straight after, right? You know, the Queen had come after Ed Sheeran, but you know what? I think after having, and it's so funny because I was on the show The Voice, right? And I think a lot of people think I got that booking because of The Voice, but The Voice was long before.
Oh, yeah, certainly.
That, and it so happened the team, the BBC team, the sound engineering team, was the same guys I work with on The Voice.
Yeah.
So they said, hey, Trini, the woman who was miking him up, she said, I remember you. I said, I know you too. You do me on, you know. But at that stage, I was already like, I have to own this because not only am I representing myself, but I'm representing a genre, music, a people, you know, and I've always been advocating for, you know. So to me, it was bigger than me. It's bigger than, you know, just this music. This is prime.
Understanding the sensitivity of working for the royal when the country puts on something for the royal. What was the backstage like for that?
It was chaotic. It was nah. Listen, one of my biggest downfalls, and others always get in trouble for it, is that I don't actually get to celebrate, or I don't celebrate the wins like that, or things like that, you know.
So there's little memory of the backstage.
I remember it was just chaotic. A lot of security, you know, they checking everything, police thing. We had cabins, but it was fun because we got to connect with other pan players, right? We got to connect with other pan players from different bands in the UK, and I think that was a bonding moment where it's the first time all these bands are playing together, different age groups, different ages, and performing on live TV, you know, for the BBC, you know. So the magnitude was huge. I was just taking it in my stride, man. Like, I wasn't fazed by it. I was more, I think in the song check, I was like, yeah, boy, this thing real big, boy. This, you know, but I didn't keep calm because they trusted me. I am the lead, you know what I mean? So
wait. So did you, like, the night before, did you dream, like, boy, they might drop?
Where if I drop? I was,
the taxi didn't come up your
time. Listen, I was kind of like,
butterflies.
Yeah, I was nervous, but then I was like, no, I deserve to be here. And you know what made me calm? When we waiting, before we went to perform, I messaged Colonel and I told him, Colonel Roberts, and he video called me back. And I said, Matthew, come here. And I call the arranger, Andre White. Right? I said, come. I said, look, and Colonel on the video, and he said, hey, Joocie, you're the best person to do this, boy. My daddy will be proud of you, boy.
Listen,
tears come to you. And
tears must have come to you.
I did like, and he said, bro, I'm proud of you. You know what to do. Do your thing, Joocie, man. And I called Matthew, and it looked like Matthew want to cry more than me because...
Yeah, because now you're telling me that I can feel that because...
you know, and...
You don't get a better endorsement than that.
And when he told me that... Not only my shirt was on fire, I was ready for them, you know what I mean? Like, it was...
Because this thing is global, you know.
Yeah.
This is around the world.
Yeah.
So you would say, when you talk about highlights in your career, you think that topped it?
It's one of the moments, yeah. 100%. What's
the top moment of your career?
I don't know. I had many moments that opened more doors. Like, it was like steps. That's why I say I don't really get a chance to... I think the biggest... I would say The Voice was a big moment, the first audition, because it was within how much seconds they turn around, and the one of the coaches turned around on the show. And hearing their feedback, I mean, what was published to the public was about 10% of what actually took place.
What took place? Okay, yeah.
And I can tell you, in the most humblest, and the people who was there in that room, who experienced it, they were in awe. The feedback that I received from these guys.
Well, it's strange enough you digress to that. And it's something I wanted to come to next. Well, it was like a surprise. Or everyone everyone was like,
What?
"What's
What you
happening
see
here?
there? Yeah.
How this happened?"
How?
I mean, normally I'm assuming there's a form. You go somewhere and you put yourself forward as a candidate to
Again, I am blessed. And you see, when you're blessed and you're pioneering and you're championing when you're doing you, and you're doing you to the best of your ability, and you're living good with people and you have a pure heart, opportunities just come. You know, a lot of artists will say, I want this, I was never given anything.
Okay,
you know what
okay.
I was given? I was given the talent.
The talent.
I was given the drive, you know, and I'm grateful for that. But like I said, I think it was during lockdown or something, they called me. I received a message, an Instagram message from this attractive girl. And I said, what is this? This some kind of
That's
hey,
scam,
would you a scam?
Yeah.
Random.
Yeah.
So I
Especially
respond.
in your
Right,
stage,
in your and
stage
you know,
now,
it has some
people throwing themselves and trouble, yeah.
right, true.
Yeah.
See, and it's ducking.
Yeah.
And I then got an email and I said, but this thing consistent, man. I said, but what? I sent back a message. They called.
Ooh, persistentness.
Hi, is this fella called? Hey, Joocie. I said, what's this one?
What's going on here?
What's going on here? How you doing? Listen, I'm calling from the show. I'm one of the talent managers. Would you be interested in, it was the woman who called first, would you be interested in coming to audition for The Voice? And I was like, nah, me into them talent shows, man. I good. Nah, I good. Poop. And they said, okay, no problem. Boom, gone. A week later, they called back again. Hey, Triniboi, Joocie, how you doing?
Yeah.
Real bubbly leader. So I say, yeah, what's the vibes? So listen, you have nothing to lose. I say, under one condition. And again, this is me setting my boundaries.
Yeah.
And my premise, I said, if I come on that show, I am not singing Who Let the Dogs Out. I'm not singing Mambo number 5. I'm not singing Feeling Hot. I'm not going to be a gimmick. I promise you, on my life. I said that to them on the phone.
Yeah.
And they said to me, okay, no problem. I mean, we're going to
So they wanted to sing Who Let the Dogs Out?
They said to me, we're going to have a conversation or whatever, but there's a process.
Yeah.
I said, okay, no problem. They say you're going to have to audition. I said, all right, cool. So it was an audition from home first on the screen. Yeah. So I come normal. I said, well, you're at home. The day we set it up, I'll do the audition. Then I was like, is that what you would wear to perform? No, them don't know me. Yeah. I had thing.
Yeah.
I say, you want me to? They say, yeah, could you change? Yeah, what would you do? I say, yeah, going upstairs, run upstairs, come back. Wow, then,
Yeah.
Wow, Joocie, and then I perform and they say, okay, so we want to invite you down to the execs by ITV to come and perform. Now you have to sing 4 tunes. You have vocal coach, a bunch of executives gonna be there in front of a camera. It's gonna be easy. Going down there. Mash them up. I sing Last Walk and then I sing Ubia and then I sing Bottle and watch now I give them a repertoire. Full show. I know me, I interacting and talking to the judge and I sing into she and she get tie up. She get chain up one time. Whoop, buy into it. They said, okay, we want to invite you to another audition. We'll get back to you, whatever. Boom. They get back to me. And that's when I had the conversation. I said to them, listen, if I come on the show, I'm not singing Who Let the Dogs Out, Feeling Hot, Mambo number 5. I'm not a gimmick. Right? And they said, no, Joocie, we want you to bring what you stand for. And collaborate with us. And we put that out there. And another thing is, when you do these shows, you normally have to go with your government name. I said to them, I've been pushing the brand of Triniboi, Joocie. And that's what I'm going with. And they said, yeah. And I then went back. I was away in Canada at the time. They had some auditions in London and some different rehearsals now. Yeah. And I remember when I flew back in, they said we need to fly to Manchester to do a rehearsal with the band. Who tell them to do that? I go in the room. I say, Ollie, what the stems are to? They're like, huh? I say, yeah, you know me, I have everything ready. I say, right. So the keyboard man are like this. Give me this chord here and vibe. Drummer, come now, give me some more body. So I started to cook. The place gone. The keyboard man, he like this. He get lost, he gone. Drummer, he say he never played soca in his life. First time.
But
ever.
then,
These
then you're
musicians.
multi-skill as well with instruments, so you were able to.
When I
to
started
help them.
cook, the exec in the back, oh my gosh, this is a bit. The execs had to pull out their phones. This is in rehearsal before I even do the blind audition, you know.
Okay.
So the blind audition, when they audition and the chairs turn around.
Yeah.
From that first rehearsal day, I say, that's it. Gone. The next day was the audition. You never know. I was first. This when I sang, you see with the butt over and so that was 7 a.m. in the morning, you know.
Okay.
7 a.m.
A.m. in the morning.
7 a.m. While I watched that, that was 7 a.m. in the morning, right? The crowd was like white middle class people who've never heard probably soca music before. Okay. They might know calypso.
So what time those people get there?
From early, I was there from 6 o'clock. The taxi come, pick me up, drop me off, waiting. 6 o'clock. And then you had to go through makeup, styling, this, that, and I done had everything ready. Don't pack. Listen, when I walk out.
So wait, you had makeup done?
No, they gave me a little, become a sweat glands now, so they gave me a little mad thing now, but oh God. You know, but it was that first one. The one thing I would say, like, for me, I'm an overthinker, and my anxiety was high. Anxiety level, you know, very nervous, I like to know what I'm doing as well. I hate waiting around and not too sure, and sometimes you're waiting there for hours, 2-3 hours, and they wait and they're doing this and you have to do this interview and come back and then do this, and that was very hard to manage at first. But when I went out on the stage and I walked out, and from the music start, even with the towel, with the rag, I said to them, I come out, they say, I said, like we agreed, this is part of my culture. I want to be as authentic as possible. Listen, from as I walk out and I start, I don't mean to be so rude, darling. I don't really watch face. Now, what you hearing on the TV was 10% of what it actually was live. Watch now. I don't know if the engineer on the TV didn't, because remember again, this is the first time they engineering soca live soca on television. This is not R&B or pop or
whatever,
or jazz or whatever. This is soca, so there's certain elements, certain tones that they didn't know. So I not only am performing, but I'm introducing them into something new.
And what you would say was most important to you, putting your art form out there or winning? What was most important to you at that point?
I think what was most important was to be as authentic as possible, staying true to myself, but also representing the underrepresented in the industry. Because we talk about, you know, inclusivity and we need to be thing, but when we look at charts, when we look at award shows, soca is treated like garbage. The mobile awards, there's no soca category, but you have dancehall, reggae, Afrobeat, you had funky house, you had grime. Soca is older than all of them.
Yeah, but the conversation around that is the numbers.
It doesn't, my thing is this, soca, like Bob Marley said, soca was the music. He used to sing calypso, right? He used to, I don't know if people know this, at the time when he was with the Wailers, Bob Marley and the Wailers, at the time, it was calypso music that was the biggest music in the Caribbean at the time. You understand? And so I say that to say, it's the forefathers of a lot of these genres. So for me, it's like, you can't celebrate aspects of a culture. You need to if you're celebrating, you know, you wouldn't get the Gary and the fufu alone. They will show you everything, meat, the this, the that, the clothing, you know. And I think with soca, we've never really had our moment.
Let me throw a spanner in the works. Conversation outside of this conversation. I was having a conversation with someone and we were going back and forth with the fact of what you're trying to explain there. Do you think, as far as you're concerned, or have you given it any thought, is the name soca a problem? Because soca is the unknown, but calypso is the known. So we sort of not want to identify ourselves with calypso somewhat because we think it's the old people, it's long time. But when you look at genre of music, you know, you have reggae, you know, you have the dancehall, you have the Afrobeat. People know calypso. And I mean, if you take it back probably well before we were born, calypso. The word calypso is known, but we're trying to sell this idea. This word, soca. What do you think? Because you're talking about the struggles, you're talking about the Mobiles Awards and all these different places not recognizing us. To me, it seems like soca is the unknown.
Yeah. And then too, it's. But I also think it's down to how it's marketed.
Yeah, but what do we have to do again? You don't think we've marketed?
Well, I mean,
from your observation.
Let me be real. We don't support each other. We don't support ourselves, and that's the biggest issue. We are too segregated. Different islands have different songs that want to label it different. When you have too much option, it's like you're going to TK Maxx.
Yeah.
It's hard to pull something sometimes because you had the patience to go through all the t-shirts, all the jumpers, all the jeans, all the shorts. So what I'm saying is, look, I'm sorry to use it as a reference, but if you look at Afrobeat, they call it all Afrobeat. All. Some of them is
irrespective from where they
is different. It might be different from different countries and different different villages and different extensions, but it's all under that umbrella.
Because like with soca, we had Denry, we have the Zouk,
Jab,
and Jam,
Compa,
and all them kind of thing.
We are groovy, we are power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think sometimes when you have too much, it can be confusing, and I just think, like for me, one of the things that I push for is that I'm a Caribbean artist, and it means that what if I choose to release a reggae song? Am I only going to be judged because I was doing soca before?
No, but I think from the inception you say you're an artist.
I'm an artist.
And I commend you on that. Because where you have people say they are soca artists, that means as far as I can say it's only soca you're going to say.
It's only soca you're doing.
But you're an artist. So you might be predominantly singing soca, but you're an artist.
And that's the foundation. That would have been the foundation, the inception of myself and finding my ground and what I represent. But that can develop over time, which it has, And it's something that I'm going to be exploring on one of my new projects this year,
You are what I would consider the gatekeeper of Europe, because I don't think there's ever a time that I don't see you somewhere in Europe, because I do follow you on social media, and you're very active on social media in the sense of pushing what you're doing. I mean, how do you cope with having to be out there all the time, being called or being sought after by different entities?
It's gonna sound bacchanalish, but when I go to these places, they embrace me more than my own people at times, and that sometimes is quite
appealing.
It's appealing, but it can be a little bit jaded. It can leave you jaded because it's kind of like other people who you're introducing it to, they embrace you so much more
than your own. And we go back to Butler over your head scenario.
Yeah.
Because as you say that, I was asking myself, which soca artist in the world will want to be in Brazil the same time of Trinidad Carnival?
Yeah.
Why it was you?
Because I get it called.
Why it was you? So you're consistently doing
things that has not been done,
outside,
pushing the boundaries, pushing the envelope. Yeah. Disrupting. I'm a disruptor.
How was that experience?
It was one of the best experiences in the world. We say Trinidad is the Mecca, eh? We say